Get your coffee, get your Red Bull. Let's have some caffeination.
All right, I'm gonna let Morgan Ruiz.
I think we should allow her.
Awesome, great. Awesome, so.
We need some participation. I know it's gonna be hard, but if we can put it in the chat, or if y'all wanna talk to, we can make this a little two-way street. But how do you currently feel about your online reviews? Do you have any? So we want to start there. If any, maybe like show of hands, how many already have online reviews and are happy with them? Gary's got some online reviews. Mallory works at a bank, so she should have online reviews.
Yeah.
So.
All right, everyone else with the cameras off, we're just gonna have to guess that you do have some feelings about your online reviews, okay?
Or they just don't want to show you what they're wearing today.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, hey, while we're talking about reviews, let's talk about which sites should you be getting reviews from. So quick trivia question. Which site generates the most reviews? So you got Amazon, Facebook, Google, or Yelp. So let's do some, let's put your comment in the chat box if you can. Let's do that. All right, we'll give people a little bit more time to enter that in.
Can we give a prize away?
Yeah.
The correct answer gets lunch with David Jameson. That'll be awesome.
Morning, Andrea.
I know Andrea. All right, where's the chat?
Are on chat? Come on. Oh, okay, let's do this. Let me go back to the chat. All right, so we got some responses. Amazon, Google, Amazon, Google for sure. Yes, Google is the #1 site for reviews. That's where you get the most reviews. If you're not using Google, make sure you have your Google My Business listing. Amazon was a close second. We know people are shopping a lot online. And then we have, of course, Facebook and Yelp. So it's in that order: Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Yelp. And what you're seeing is, you got this website for all local businesses, Google, Google Local. We got Amazon, where most of us do our shopping online. We got Facebook, where we're being social online and we're giving each other reviews on our businesses. And then lastly, if you're in the food and beverage business, you definitely have a review on Facebook, correct? Thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Awesome.
Jim's going to be our official thumb guy.
Okay, nice. That's
very
nice.
Good.
Nice. All right.
So the one thing we know is everybody has reviews, or everybody has opinions. And so why is it important to your business? So we'll state some obvious things today, but also try to give you some ideas of how to increase your reviews. And then again, feel free to ask questions. But of course, however we feel about it, even from the election to whatever, everybody has an opinion out there on social media. And people do take reviews seriously on Facebook and Google.
Absolutely.
So it's very, very important to obviously be pushing for reviews and obviously gaining those hopefully trusted opinions.
Right.
So everybody also is spending more time on the internet, as we know, with COVID, and everybody is spending more time on social media, which is another factor of that's where people are generating more and more reviews lately.
That's also where the conversation is going, right? So with increased reviews, it increases your visibility. If you're using Google My Business, if you're using Amazon reviews or Facebook or Yelp, there's a lot of benefits, right? So one of the ways it helps your visibility with online reviews, it helps your SEO ranking. So if you're aware of digital marketing and how Google manages the platform, the more conversations are being started about your business on any of those listing sites, the higher you rank on your Google display page, okay? That's just showing that there are more people looking to your page for relevant information, and Google prioritizes relevant information from people that are searching for you. Another thing about the review platforms is you don't just want to do one. You want to make sure you're on a couple of review sites just to make sure you're spreading out your platform. And then lastly, having a lot of reviews is good, but it also matters if you're having high quality reviews or low quality reviews, and those can be grouped into two. So it's between 1 to 3 or 4 to 5. So
Can you explain that more?
yeah. So between 1 and 3 stars on a review, you're getting the same. You're not between 1 and 3 stars and 4 and 5 stars. You're getting the same type of increased revenue and responses on your business. But really, where you want to be is 4 to 5, right? That's where you really want to be. But 1 to 3, it's it'll stay around the same area.
Explain to why sometimes 5 is not good.
Okay, so we're gonna
Get there
to that. So
okay.
The next slide is it establishes trustworthiness.
So obviously we want everybody to make sure that we feel like we're the trusted expert in business and in our service and in our field. So obviously these reviews are going to be helping us more to do that. The more people can read up about us or see that Gary gave me a good review the other day, makes me look a little bit more trusted because Gary's a trusted guy. I mean, how can you not trust Gary by just looking at him? So by getting his review, that's also just saying another reason why it's a trusted thing. So just the more reviews, the more credible people that you're having that are commenting on you, obviously the better it's going to be for you.
Absolutely. And it also tells a different story, right? We all kind of market and advertise that we have the best product, that we have the best service, and those are all claims a business can make about themselves, but reviews are actually the customers and clients' point of view, supporting your claim, defending what you're saying, and Mike actually has a great example of that.
Yeah, so I was driving down the road yesterday and I was thinking about this presentation some more, and I drove by a billboard of a company, a roofing company, and it was in North Augusta, and they said that they were the best billboard company in the CSRA, but I'm trying to figure out what made them claim that because they haven't even been around but less than 4 years, and they don't have any online reviews, and I don't know if they just made that up. Their mom wrote it down and then they put it on a billboard that says they're the best. And then in the fine print, there's probably like mom said that, but it doesn't really give them much credibility to put that on the billboard. Really, honestly, like you bragging about being the best is not really the way to go in marketing. It's better to go the other way around, where letting people who are trusted sources talk about you.
Absolutely. So what does that actually do for your business? Well, it continues the conversation on your business, right? It's one thing for you to talk about the product that you have or service that you have. It allows people to share their experiences working with your business or purchasing your product. And that's something that, like I said, like Mike was saying, it's hard. We're getting distrustful advertisement, right? I know you guys probably see a lot of ads. Maybe you went shopping on Wish. Has anyone done that?
Who's been shopping on Wish? Anybody? Well, we can't see 9 people in here.
Right.
So.
But the story being, you know, sometimes you see an advertisement, you click on it, and it doesn't turn out exactly what you expect it to be. Think about your drive-through experience with McDonald's, right? How the picture on the burger may not be exactly the burger that you're getting.
Or I had an experience recently with Amazon,
right,
where I wanted to get this really nice candy jar to put all my kids' candy in it from Halloween, and the candy jar was like this big, but I spent at least $39 on it, thinking it was like this big.
She was mad because we put her on the sink, and she was not happy the other day. Last Friday, she came here, like, she was not happy. So I delivered it out there to her Friday, and she said, I'm just going to try.
All right, just some technical.
Jay Watts is... What's up?
and very lastly, you know, it's some of the best form of marketing. It's word to mouth marketing online in the digital world. So next slide. It drives purchases. So reviews have been increasingly more important in the customer decision making. It's important because it helps people make decisions, right? It gives confidence to the consumer. And the way it does that is think about how you go shopping. When you're first looking for something, what's the first thing you do? Do you go to Google to find out what products are available? And then you find the vendors, the businesses that offer that product. And then you check the reviews to verify whether or not they're worthy enough to buy from, right? So that's increasingly more and more part of that decision-making funnel.
And also I was going to add to that, one of the things you were mentioning too the other day, with just the percentages of how much it's increased in just the last 6 months of the shopping carts and everything.
Absolutely. So I think that's going to be
okay.
So look, here's some numbers. 90% of the consumers are reading reviews before visiting a business online or in person. Customers use reviews to determine important non-tangible business aspects. Specifically, are they reliable? Are they professional? And do they have expertise? Think about currently, what do you think people are looking for in reviews?
Why don't we let the chat go for that?
Yeah, let's do this. What do you think people are looking for nowadays that they weren't looking for previously?
Let's see what people are saying. You got any Jeopardy music? Dun, 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 dun.
There you go. For me, okay, I think Julie hit it on the point. Hit the point. Yep. COVID policies, especially before visiting a restaurant. That's been an increasing trend when it comes to online reviews. How well does a business handle COVID policies? Do you wear a mask? Is there any special features or things, policies in place to help your consumer, be more at ease, especially when interacting with business nowadays? So that's awesome. Thank you, Julie.
Anybody else? Here we go. Experience, sharing the actual experience.
Yep, sharing the experience, absolutely. So, and that was from,
Can I ask a question now, or are we waiting till the end?
Actually, go ahead. Yeah.
Let's make this conversational. We're having, caffeinated conversations.
Right.
Okay, I'll turn my video on. My hair is a mess. Please just don't judge me.
Your hair looks great. Thanks for being on.
Thanks. So here's a question. With COVID policies, how would you recommend businesses either publicize that information and make it more publicly available so I don't have to rely on reviews, for example, to see what the business is doing to make sure their customers stay safe?
Yeah. So I think that goes back to, using multiple platforms, right? What your first thing should be your website. If you're having an announcement on a banner bar on the head of your website, they'll see that the first thing. Another thing you can do is use a pop-up window. So when they go to your website, that notification is the first thing that shows up before they can even engage with your website. But it's things like posting on Facebook and then pinning that post so that it stays at the top of your Facebook feed, or
All right, so what type of business are you?
it does depend, yes.
Just a business student, but I'm just curious.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then also to a lot of medical clients, we've done videos just to give them what the experience is going to be like going through it. We've done that with restaurants as well. In Florida, we did that just recently because it's not going to change any down there anytime soon.
Right.
So really, video is definitely a way to share the experience too. And then encouraging the people that have had good experiences, obviously, to share theirs so that people feel more comfortable too. Or like, for example, I know Jay's on here from Family Pharmacy. He has a drive-through window. Obviously, that's a main method for people to feel safe just going through the drive-through. So it's just finding what aspects you have that make you different that you can kind of play off on.
Right. So this is part of that continuing that conversation, outside your business on a different platform, making sure that your consumers and your customers are in the loop with conversation and business updates.
I would like even Mallory to jump in, like for you, because obviously I've got experience with banking too, but like what have you had to do? Because that one might be good to share, because you've had to change a lot where people probably weren't allowed in your lobbies at one time, and then we get stopped at the front by a desk person. So
yeah, we still don't have most of our lobbies are still not open. And that's been somewhat of a challenge, just trying to explain to people. We did allow people to come in for appointments, so we still had that option. But it was really the first month where people were kind of throwing their hands up like, this is ridiculous. And now I think it's just the norm. We closed our lobbies pretty early. We closed in March, so we were kind of early on the closing. So that was about a month of people frustrated, I would say. And now it's kind of become the norm. So we have had a couple people push back and want to know when we were opening, but we just have to kind of stick with it's just for the safety of everybody, employees, and the community, that we just keep as many branches closed as possible. So it definitely has been a challenge trying to keep people informed.
Right.
And we also, I will say, we did not fully communicate when we've opened some of our lobbies, only because that's a challenge as well. Why didn't you open here? Why did you open there? And the reasoning being, like, we had trouble with one of our drive-throughs. So trying to explain, we're having one of our drive-throughs keep shutting down because of maintenance was not a, you don't really want to put that out there either. So we had huge signs put up. And so people that were coming to that branch knew this is now the customer entrance. So we just have had to kind of pivot and shift based on the different locations and what's going on at each one.
I like it. Yeah, and that's the most important part. You're continuing that conversation with your clients and customers.
I was going to say too, even from Security Federal standpoint, like I know your chat feature on the online part has probably been more of a function too, and be able to get service that way. Or I'd say even getting a phone call randomly from somebody at the bank to see if I needed anything was kind of a cool thing too.
Yeah, the messaging chat feature that we really just deployed it in, I think, April of last year has been, or actually April before, maybe November before. So it's almost a year, has been a lifesaver because people can just chat with us through that. And that's kept, and our call centers increased, I think, like 200% in the number of calls that are coming in. So it's just trying to figure it out as you go.
Absolutely.
Well, and even with you, I think with your people that are calling customers to see if they have any need, I think even ending the conversation with, would you give me a review at the end of this if everything's satisfactory or whatever, I think would be a good way to kind of plug that in there too.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Honestly, I was shocked when I got a call from the bank. I was like, I might be in trouble. What did I do today at the bank that I'm getting a call? But they were just checking on me. So that was cool.
But yeah, that's a really good point. So another interesting statistic about, making sure your reviews are up to date, 72% of people will only take action after they see a positive review, especially in regards to how you handle Corona and COVID.
Let's say that one more time. 72% of people.
72% are not likely to take action until they see a positive review or read something positive on your site. So it doesn't mean that you can have one good review and like 50 negative reviews. It just means they want something to show you to show them that they can trust or feel comfortable before engaging in business. But what does that mean? What should that do for you, right? Oh,
You a slide skipper?
I am a slide skipper.
You are just moving.
I am a slide skipper. So another reason why it helps, it does drive revenue.
Technical difficulties. 1 second, y'all. There. We got it. All right. So yeah, just driving revenue. I'll let you talk a little bit more about this. You talked about the 1 to 3 and the 4 to 5 already earlier.
Okay, yeah. So here's the neat thing about having 1 to 3 stars versus 4 to 5 stars. You would imagine that having a perfect 5 stars would be good for you, but clients and customers actually want to see some kind of authenticity, right? If you have a business that has a perfect 5 star, I would be a little bit skeptical, right? Right? No one's perfect. And the reason why a 4.8 star is more engaging than a 5 star on a site, it shows that you're willing to problem solve, and there's something that on there that allows you to address the issue as a business and communicate with clients about how you handle troubles or how you are accountable with any issues arriving in your business.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting fact, because a lot of people do try to get on there, get all their friends to write 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
Right, and we know
how
it
actually affects them more.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you can pay people to do fake reviews, but yeah, getting more reviews and getting higher star reviews are great, but a perfect 5 star is not as great as it seems. It also allows to move the conversation forward and keep it going. Like I said earlier, you want to make sure you have something where your customers can give you feedback. You really want to take hold of the feedback and listen to it. These people are either really, really excited and want to rant and rave about your business, or they have a serious issue that they're bringing to your attention, and now it's there for everyone to see, right? So I think a couple things we definitely want to know is how to respond to a review, whether positive or negative, but definitely negative reviews for sure.
My experience with this is usually if a client of mine has a negative review, I usually get a text message or phone call within the 10 minutes of them getting it. And then I become a counselor where they just vent to me for about 30 minutes. And then we go to the solving thing of like, let's not ever react. Let's figure a way to solve. So right. I know we all are hopefully good about wanting to make sure that we always solve on every different type of review, but it's very important to be responding And we're going to talk about too, obviously taking the conversations offline, and hopefully solving the problem so we can get the review off.
Absolutely. So one of the most important factors about responding to negative reviews is that you have to do it and you have to do it fast.
When you say fast, how fast?
Within a day, I think some customers expect a response immediately. I think we all have this drive or need to say, hey, here's my problem. I want to solve it immediately. But the faster you can answer a review and respond to it, acknowledge it, the better you appear to your customers, right? Because you want to make sure that, first of all, it's being read. I think it's very frustrating when you have an issue with, and you give it to customer support and it takes them like a day or 2 days to get back to you about any real solution. And one of the reasons being is we want to be heard, and we want to make sure that, you know, if we're giving our money to a business, we want to make sure if there's anything wrong that our voice is part of that business decision making.
Good point. And two, like I'll just throw this in there, on the event industry, responding to reviews within the hour is more probably the standard. When we do the fairs and festivals and different things like that, we're up till midnight on all those different events, answering every single type of comment or question during the day. And in any type of event, you're always going to get something. The carny worker was mean to me. The beer was expensive, or it didn't taste like beer. I want my money back. So in the event industry world, it's definitely within an hour of trying to solve that problem.
And especially in relation to negative reviews, you know, it's a client business relationship. We want to make sure we can repair that relationship first. So we want to make sure we want to earn the customer's loyalty, right? The cost of earning a new client is definitely more than keeping a current one. But here are the steps. You definitely want to acknowledge the problem. I think something we can get really defensive about businesses. If someone had a bad experience, you got to be willing to admit that they had a bad experience, and then be able to move that conversation forward, right? It's not about dwelling the problem, but making sure that we're business owners that can solve that problem and then move forward. So here's some do's and don'ts.
Do listen to your customers. Do check your reviews daily. Do business with optimized reviews. And do ask. And what do we mean by ask? I think the real thing on the ask is, like, I'll just use Mallory as an example. I mean, from when people are in the lobby, you could see something in there from signage standpoints of saying, share your experience with us, or have some sort of campaign theme to make it fun, down to the ATM machines, to the experience with the actual tellers, to the online part, to social media, to whatever. I mean, there's so many things that people can do to be being asked about their experience. Even more recently, down to the phone call that I just received. For like Charlie Hart's and his stuff, I mean, really every day is an opportunity to get people to talk you up. One way of really doing this is more just sharing photos of people having experiences there. That's almost acts as its own review. They might not have like written the whole thing on Google and saved it there or went to all the different steps. But then by just taking a picture and posting that Gary had a great coffee at the Village Cafe today is a review. And Gary then being seen by 400 extra people helped. Sometimes people not like Gary may not think to do that for Charlie Hart's, but having some activity within their store or something in their space will maybe encourage that, whether it's the signage like don't forget to share a picture, or creating a little photo area. In Hilltop Animal Hospital, we have created like the Paul Perazzi. Hopefully I said that right. But we took a wall, we took $300 in vinyl, and now dogs can take their pictures in it before they go to see Dr. N. And there's little decor for them to, little costumes to get all Paul Perazzi'd up. And it says in there about sharing the cool little dog experience that the dog had. And every single day, if he's seeing, I think he sees, let's just say he sees 50 people a day or 50 dogs a day, you can guarantee that 10 people are taking pictures with their dogs and posting it. And that's 400 people minimum per picture times X. I mean, you can't pay for that. And that's just free reviews. So being creative, I mean, we took an ugly wall where there was a trash can and a chair, and we tossed it out and made a vinyl area. I know some of us are in the service industry and we can't do that as much. But like our lawyers, when they're with their clients, or obviously the mortgage people when they're with their clients, taking the picture at the table and sharing that goes a long way too.
Absolutely.
Or Jay Watts, for example, if you go into his place, You can always take a picture with Stand Up Jay if you're not around. If he's not around to actually take the physical picture with, there's a big lifelike size thing of Jay this big, and you can take a picture with him, and that's just really cool. So why not?
Absolutely.
So being creative, I mean, again, a stand-up Jay might cost $100, but that $100 is going to go a long way for the visibility of reviews. So it's not so much always, I mean, we struggle with it all the time to get our medical clients, patients to go to Google that don't like the internet because they're 65 plus to go do a review and do all the steps. But if we can at least do something in the back end side of the pictures or creativity of the experience and figuring out how to share it, it goes a long way. And then obviously the don'ts, like it's not the end of the world if people say something bad about you. It's just how you handle it. It goes back to what Jay was saying up on the chat about quality service. Again, and it's like Ming said, I don't think I'm ever a 5.0 every day. Maybe we shoot to be a 4 or 5 would be nice, but like you go for the best you can. And it's really how you deal with the situation every day. As any of us, or we all make mistakes every single day. I always tell my staff I at least make 5 a day. And if they like me to share them, I can come up with it. So, and it's, it's just, again, how you handle it, especially in retail, especially as small businesses, as we're trying to keep every customer we can against the nasty giants out there.
And respond to David's text. Yeah, engaging social media campaigns, interactions can be a good driver for positive online reviews. Absolutely. We want to make it easy for people to leave reviews, and we also want it to be fun, right? It's already kind of a chore to type out your experience and figure out all the details you want to say. But the best time to do it is after a good customer experience. So
again, coming up with a theme helps this, so it's not just dry, like, please review me. It's almost like a battle cry. We utilize it internally as We Are South. I've got some different companies right now having some different type of themes that I can't share yet, but will be coming out in 2021, but different themes that people are like, I'm claiming to be a part of this experience. I'm claiming to be a part. Gary does it with Whiskey Alley all the time. He shares his drink pictures and he's part of the, whatever that tour club is. And what is that called, Gary, by the way? You're muted, buddy. I'm sorry. Can we unmute him?
The restaurant review thing from the magazines?
No, you do the thing where like you do the little passport thing, like you're traveling around to get all your different whiskey.
Oh yeah, we print those passports for Whiskey Alley.
Yeah, but as simple as that little passport,
it engages people.
It engages people, and you now belong to it, and then you are sharing your experience. And even though that's not on Google or Amazon or Yelp, technically that's on Facebook in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Or Instagram or whatever. So
that's right.
I mean,
go ahead. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, Julie, go right ahead.
Julie?
okay. Yeah, Whiskey Alley. It's funny that you mentioned that because we actually just ate dinner there. And we have trash pickup. Who is it? Dumpster Depot? And they actually put a coupon to Whiskey Alley, which we already love Whiskey Alley. And one of the partners was there, and he actually owns Dumpster Depot, Whiskey Alley, and the tap room. And I mean, even he sat down with us and had a conversation about things that he was thinking about changing. And he was very responsive to what we had to say as regular customers to all 3 of his businesses. Like, but that was really cool for him to sit down and, makes the customer feel listened to. And that's huge, in my opinion.
And the next step for you is to write a review.
That's right.
Oh, I've already
done. See?
all of them.
But that's powerful. A testimonial like that is powerful. It really does connect the customer to the business owner, providing feedback, giving direction to how to improve your business. So
let me add too. One of the things we just did recently too on some, we've asked different clients to send us videos about their experience with us. I think that's also a good way to just request, hey, if you have a minute, take a minute out to do a video on us if we're doing a good job for you, kind of thing. So that's something we're kind of pushing in 2021. And I think that's a good way to see if people will share that. Because honestly, like shooting a video on your cell phone real quick and texting it over, it almost seems a lot easier. As much as experiences I've gotten on video by selling retail clothes to women on Tuesday nights, it just seems like it's gotten a lot easier to do video than it is to actually type stuff out.
A question. is the most engaging way to have, to encourage it? Requesting them, you know, how do you think that you can generate reviews?
You cut out on part of that. I apologize. I couldn't hear it all.
Yeah, I heard.
I'll just type it.
Oh, yeah, type it in the
Type
chat.
it, type it.
Great. So, let's see.
By the way, I love seeing the kids come up to the cameras on these things. That just means we're better than school today.
Right, exactly.
This is educational.
This is marketing.
If I got this at 5 years old, do you know where I'd be at 21 instead of where I was? I'd be.
My son is actually 5.
All right, what are the best ways to generate reviews?
Absolutely. So once again, you want to make sure you have different platforms available. If you're F&B, definitely have a Yelp account. It's just making sure you're on the right platform, making sure that you're visible to your clients, right? If you want to send out an email blast template, you can automate it after purchase, right, to rate their experience after buying something on an e-commerce site. If you're an F&B, maybe have your servers get a review after they pay their bills. But definitely using Facebook and Google are the top 2 ways. Facebook probably being the most cost effective because it's free for Google. You can do Google.
Facebook being easier for people, majority.
Absolutely. And you have that whole entire environment on Facebook where you have connected friends. You can, if you make a post, some of your friends might see it. And that's probably one of the, like I said, low cost ways to generate positive reviews and have the most impact.
But again, if they write a review, thank them. If you're a restaurant, you can have so much more creativity with this. Like if somebody wrote a review, you could send them a thank you, free muffin,
free appetizer,
and then the next time you send them a free dessert, like you can continue the love, and it costs you $2 to keep that going. So
there are different ways of thought on encouraging customers to leave reviews. Sometimes you do want to incentivize it, like we're saying. You know, you want some honest feedback, so you, like I said, you can give them an appetizer with F&B, but some kind of offer to get them engaged. All right, so
really, we're just need any more questions we got right now?
Yeah,
we'll take more questions. We're really kind of wrapped up with we hit our mark, Jim. We're at 35 minutes on our timer thingy.
So hey guys, this is Mike Cook. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hey, all right. So I'm here on behalf of Avelo Electrolysis, which my wife opened this business in Aiken October 1st, and it's a permanent hair removal business. And we started off, you know, I set up our merchant services to send out an email campaign 24 hours after each customer's first visit, and you know, probably several subsequent visits afterwards. And it's been really good for generating some reviews for us. But the challenge for us is it's not necessarily a service that people like to talk about, right? You don't want to share. It's kind of embarrassing. Like you don't want to necessarily share that you're going in for hair removal, right? But, you know, it's only been a few weeks and she's gotten reviews across all platforms, you know, some on Yelp, some on Google. She's got like 9 reviews on Google. Quite a few reviews on Facebook. So like we're getting a better response than I thought we would.
Absolutely.
But I really like the idea of possibly mining the folks who have taken the time to write a good review, and getting a video response from them, or somehow rewarding them like, hey, if you guys want to sit down and record a short video on your phone, you know, we'll consider, I don't know, maybe doing a free treatment or something along those lines. So I just think that was a really good idea, and I think it would get some good views if we were able to share that on our.
Mike, I absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why we even give reviews, right? If we have a positive, good experience, we want to let our friends know. And if we had a terrible experience, we want to let our friends know so they don't make the same mistake. That's an awesome story that I think that's a great idea to ask or involve people that have been through the process to be a part of the video and discuss, you know, the benefits of treatment for hair.
Yeah, and again, I think you could also create an ambassador program, meaning like you find out of those 25 reviews, eventually you might find an ambassador of the program of your service, and then they may be willing to talk it up to their friends and whatever for incentivizing. I would have to brainstorm a little bit more in your industry for a good 2 hours, but like that would be off the cuff right there. It's just finding ways to just generate organic response. Because you're right. It's like hearing aids. A lot of people don't want to talk that they have one. So
Yeah.
it's been hard. But then when we said, like, you know, you kind of claim ownership of what Dr. Little's done for them and it's changed their life or what this has meant, it made it a little easier to bridge the gap for them to do the live testimonials. So again, it's all about experiences and sharing it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's tough, but someone wants to hear it, right? Someone's looking to hear what the experience is like. Someone wants to know what they're going to go through, and reviews are one of the best ways to do that. It's personal experience. It's not you telling them. It's an actual client, patient, customer that has gone through that and is now willing to share their experience with others. And that's one of the most powerful ways of marketing.
And let's just say this too, with reviews, you're going to get more of that middle to higher end clientele that you're shooting for than the Mike Hofstalo commercials where she just got $50,000 after getting in a wreck in the car. Because I can tell you, in my last car wreck, I only got like $8,000. So it did not get me $50,000. So I'm just saying, like, those people, that's a different approach to selling and a different type of demographic to target. But for y'all's middle to higher end products or people or targeting or services or needs, it's going to be this approach.
Ming, I was just going to add, just even responding to the negatives with something like, I'm sorry we didn't meet your expectation, because some people have expectations that aren't realistic.
Right.
And then, I mean, so for example, we've had a review where someone was mad that we denied them for a loan. Well, you didn't meet the, your expectation was that you would get a loan.
Right.
Obviously we have standards that we have to follow when we are doing lending. So just acknowledging that. Google's a little bit of a challenge sometimes when it's just like, Sarah left you a review. And so if you can figure out who it is, having someone reach out to them and putting that, so-and-so will be in touch shortly. But if you don't know, because Sarah is Sarah and who knows who that person is, it's great to just leave, hey, please I'm sorry we didn't meet your expectation. Please reach out to so-and-so to discuss. And so just acknowledging, but at the same time, we also, I think, don't have to kind of freak out on things like that. Most people, as they read reviews, would see, I'm mad that you didn't do you denied me for a loan. A lot of people would recognize that as, well, you probably weren't qualified. Or when I read a review on Amazon and someone gives it a 1-star review because the packaging was damaged, I'm like, well, that's not a review of the product, in my opinion. I know to not really take that into account, but it still is painful as the marketing person to see that 1-star review. But I think we have to recognize that people that read reviews probably know to kind of toss that one out as they're reading, even though it's still there.
And that's the thing. People are spending more time actually going through the reviews and examining what's going on because they want more information, right? Like I said, not being able to see the product physically or be able to touch it, customer reviews really gives you those intangible qualities about the product or the service that we're looking for nowadays.
Yeah. Like I'm headed to Disney World Thursday, and I know the expectation is I have to wear a mask around the whole entire park. Like, totally been set by Disney. It's not changing. Right. So I won't have an issue wearing a mask because they already have set the expectation. So it's really and it's hard because some people, we don't know what their expectation is going in, and Mallory's right about that.
So that's all we have for the presentation.
Wait, they got to leave us.
Yeah,
leave us a review.
Leave us a review
if you like this presentation. Box. If you don't leave us a review.
5 stars, not all 5. Someone give us a 4.5.
Yeah, we don't want 5. We want 4.8, 4.7.
You better make it easy. You better make it easy to leave a review.
Thank you. But yeah, if there's any more questions, we're here. Not here to sell, but this is who we are, and love being part of the Aiken community.